Hello YouTube. As promised, I'm going to do a Larry Wood review. This is part 1. There are in fact 18 castings I've got to get through here of a possible 36. Now it turns out he did something like 400 odd. I lost count of the last time I looked. If you do a Wikipedia or what have you search, you will find there are quite a lot. So we'll get straight on with it. Larry Wood first came to my attention with this fella, okay, and this, as you can well see, is an original 2006 Boneshaker. There you go. All right, now a little while later they decided they were going to make the faster than ever. Now, a lot of people are going on about this. There's the 3D bot maker, whatever you want to call it, site. Everybody's going on about, oh, these FTEs faster than ever, by the way. That's the things, and they do, as you can see. Look at that wallop. Give that a spin. That could be things. Anyway, heavy metal base. As you see, got the flag on the bottom. Right, so that's the Boneshaker. We've done all them before, okay? Now, some of these are a bit shady, I'm afraid, and the condition of them is what I would call less than perfect, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter. This, luckily, is one of those that is not too bad. As you can see, has no info on the bottom. Obviously have to tip it over because you can actually see. It is in fact what's known as a hot bird, which in England means something completely different. We won't go there because I'm not a misogynistic twit. Anyway, Smoking the Bandit is what I thought. Anyway, I think it was a guy in America. No, it was a guy in America who pointed it out to me, and it was a little dude in Wales who was... I managed to badger this Welsh guy, or guy based in Wales, to bring the price down. But beautiful, lovely little job. Smoking the Bandit to you and I, to most of us, it's a gem. Pontiac, lovely. And this is my favourite bit. Old school people like me can remember when cars did this. Look at that. Suspension on a car. Yes, kiddies. Cars used to bounce when you dropped them. Not anymore. Okay, our friend here, the Open, unfortunately is a single lighter. It's a bit of a Popeye. Been stood on, I think, from what I can see. Anyway, this is an Open. I always called it the Open Speedster from the models of yesteryear, but it doesn't matter what the hell we call it. It's an Open. And you'll recognise a white one of these from the Temple of Doom with the annoying kid that goes, Indy, Indy, all the time. Annoying little prat that he was. But he drives one of them in... a real one of them, or at least a replica. Look real enough to me. Our friend here, I have absolutely no idea. I do apologise what this one is, but you can see it's along this similar theme. It's a peach, and I love this car, even though I can't remember the name of it. My shame. It'll come to me later on. I'll add it in the comments later on. Reminds me a lot of a Packard, so I could be wrong. And our friend here, another Popeye. Unfortunately, he does look as if he's been stood on as well. Yes, daisy. That is a 37 Bugatti. Well, let's be fair about it. The Bugatti company didn't exactly make ugly cars. And this one, despite the fact that it's been defaced a little bit by somebody's boot, squashed, is still a pretty looking beast. Okay. Now, we've got some of the nicer cars out of the way. Unfortunately, we're going to be focusing the rest of this video on what I would call not so nice. But that depends on who you were and your tastes and what have you. Now, let's have a quick look here, because there's a couple of extra ones. This came to my attention a few years ago, and it was part of a pack, the Robot Zoo. I've got the Beetle from this tucked away somewhere. This was part of a 5-pack. Now the front end is a Mercury. Now bless her Nick, she thought it looked like a shark at the front, and I said, yeah, well the 49 Mercury Coupe does. The back end is something else entirely, but again, Larry is still a peach, mate. It really is. And I think with obviously the fact that perhaps they couldn't get Mercury's official approval, he improvised, and it's a bit of a bad boy. It really is. I found a blue one as well. I love the satin finish on this. If it'll focus for us. The satin finish. I've got a Chevy Camaro with this brushed satin look as well, kicking around upstairs. We'll see that another time, don't worry. So there we go, look. Kind of milky, if you think about it, Milky Way there, and the red car and blue car. I couldn't resist getting that one in there. So that is the Purple Passion. That is, if you can call it fuchsia, that's a Purple Passion. And getting rid of that, there we go. Purple Passion and fuchsia pink. Now, I cannot tell you exactly the difference between this one and a lot of the vehicle it was actually based on, but we all know this is the Passion Gasser. Okay, hang on a second. Back in the room we have a gold edition, which I was very lucky to find in one of our local stores. Notice the difference in base variation there, look. I was lucky to get hold of this, complete with light set. So only you can see, look, basically there's a fair race for you. I'd always thought this one looked like a taxi when I first got it. This came in a free in a set. It was for my son. So I was quite fortunate to get hold of that, what they call it, a test car. But, yeah, I've got 3 of them now. I've got the blue, what is it called? It's the one that would have been a treasure. It would have been a super treasure hunt. I've got the basic version of that. Passion Gasser, I forget what it's actually based on, but it is, again, that's a nice car. So we'll start stacking these up behind. And we'll go to our next fella, Roger Dodger. Now this was my first Roger Dodger, in fact, the Valentine's Day one. I've found about 3 or 4 of these particular colour and variety. It's a retooling of the original. Unfortunately, haven't been able to get hold of an original one, but I do have a black and gold. But there's the more recent version, this steampunk thing, whatever the heck it is. But natty enough, and I kind of think to myself, well, that's good. It's a black and gold one. I quite like black and gold cars as a rule. If I can ever get hold of one, I want to actually try and do a Dukes of Hazzard. Just clean it all up. 0, 1, the controversial flag on the top. So that's Roger Dodger. I'm getting through them. Now, talking of Dodge, 77 Dodge van. Now, I don't think this even tells you what the hell it is on the bottom. Nope, just codes and what have you. But the 77 Dodge custom van. I do love the fact there's all the seats in the back. It's a bit of a gem. This was one of Nicola's. We're now working in towards some of the cars that she used to have, which is part of the reason I thought to myself, well, I'll do these because it'll be a nice touch. So features a few of hers. Her cars figure in this a bit more. Dodge custom van. This is a beast. I don't even know how on earth I managed to persuade the guy to sell it to me so cheap. But I did, and I got that one, I think, for something like 30 pence. So probably about 40-50 cents in US money. Roughly, you can do the working out there. But 30 pence is less than 1/3 of a pound over here. And it is monstrous. It's huge. And the missus actually, bless her, being as she loved her trucks, was like, oh my God. And I said, well, you're not having this one. Oh, and I went, well, you know, you can't expect to get every truck you see. So Crafty here managed to get hold of that piece, but I did let her put it on display in amongst her trucks that she had. Talking of trucks and her, I can remember she went absolutely potty at this, and I kind of thought, ugh, dear. And then I realised, what? It's one of Larry's. Good God! Years on, I discover it. Now I've got rid of the blue one, but the turbine, I think it's called. Yeah, it's a plastic. It's a plastic body, unfortunately, with a metal base. No details on there, but it's a turbine. I think they call it. I forget the actual name of it, but little turbine truck. And it was a truck as far as Nick was concerned. So that was it. Now this one here, we're getting through them now. We're nearly done. Okay, not going to be too much longer here. Nick loved this because of the significance of its appearance. Not exactly like this, but one of these appears in an episode of The Waltons, and it's where, to go the background to it, the dad manages to strike a deal with this grumpy sod, and he gets himself a new contract sorted out. So they get themselves a new vehicle, and it was this beast. You know, it meant they had a family car, instead of just having to get everybody around in the lumber truck, which he keeps anyway. So yeah, this becomes like the third, I think the third vehicle that the Waltons owned after John Boy's 30s coupe Model A. But yeah, lovely old beast really. It's a surf thing, and I think, judging by the info on it at the top, this will be a road tripping job. And I was really lucky. I think it was Mark Greenall found this for me, and I thought, well, cool. And then Nick kind of just kidnapped it because it had Walton's significance to it. Okay, Mark also found me this crazy piece of kit here, and I will introduce you now. Yeah, I told you we were getting wacky stuff. We're going to get the boring cars in another video. This is the only example I've got of one. I wasn't even going to bother keeping this till I realised again it was a Larry Wood. And I kind of thought, okay. So I can't, there we go, rail rodder. Will it focus? There you go, rail rodder, underneath where it says China. A rail rodder. Well, it's a novelty thing. I wouldn't dream of letting it go, because I know Nick had kind of, I'd got persuaded her into buying into the idea of enthusiasm in model railways and what have you for a little while. Didn't last, but she kind of thought, oh, it's a train, oh, lovely. Kind of unusual, those tiny little wheels at the front and then one big set at the back. But, well, you have these things, don't you? This is, and I've kept this because it's a race team vehicle, not something, there you go, look, it's called the Hydroplane. Yeah, but different. Doesn't roll brilliantly. But then this surface isn't probably that clever for it. It's a race team, so that's the only reason I kept it. But kind of was in two minds about it. And Nick said, I'll have it. So she did. I mean, I can't work out why. It's got Thunderbird 2 at the back there. But it's a boat. And sticking with boats, this has very sentimental significance. Now, I got rid of the red version, but I couldn't get rid of this one. This is the H2 Go. Now, ridiculous number of engine parts and pipes on the back. There you go, it should say H2 Go. You won't be, there you go. She spotted this in a shop and said, oh, you've got to have the plan. I've got to buy you a boat. I bought you a boat. And I think, he backs his up. I bought you a boat. Yes, love. Okay, cool. But again, it's just sentiment. I couldn't bear to part with it. Now this grotty old fella, unfortunately looking a bit grotty because it's just a bit old and shabby, is in fact one of the very earliest, the Good Humour ice cream van. It's one of the earliest examples of this model that came out. There you go, Good Humour truck. It even says, you'll all know it now as the Quick Bite, which unfortunately has been ruined, not once, but twice. It had its plastic base, fine. There's plenty of metal on it. One window. They've then decided to put two smaller windows in at the back. They've added roof lights to the top of it. They were making it plastic. Then the plastic insert was changed with those extra windows. I think they still got the little guy in the side. Because this actually, from what I've seen of it, I think could have even been a Corgi casting. This goes back a long, long way. Anyway, it's a popular model and I don't mind it at all. They've since made this whole piece. So that bottom piece is metal. The top piece is now plastic. They've moulded a little vent on the front. The horns bit that you can see at the top there has been moulded into the rest of the plastic windows. It's just insane. I mean, I'll grab you one to just show you. Back in the room again. This is the modern equivalent. What on earth are they thinking about? Metal. Okay, it's got a metal piece at the bottom, but they've made about this much metal of it to save on metal products. Okay, it does make it a lighter thing, but there's not a lot in it really. There's still a, but it just doesn't. Look at the window, the little. I mean, it's not a very loud horn, is it? Let's be fair about it. If you got a little siren thing to try and get the kids to come out and buy some ice cream, you got a smaller tweeter there. There you go. Look, front end. Nah. So thank God for the good humour. Quick bite, not so sure. So that'll go back out of the way. Okay, we're going to get down to the really freaky stuff last, okay? The story about our friend here, and I didn't even realise this was a Larry. Of course, it's a robot if you see him stood up. He comes closer to Transformers-ish, all the rest of it. Nick, when I told her there was a little robot thing, and she went, a robot? And I went, yeah, a robot car. So she nagged me all night about going across there. I jumped down I jumped on the bike, went out first thing in the morning, hadn't even gone to sleep, came back, brought it. She adored it. And that was probably the most favourite of hers. She swept everything out of the way. That went and sat on the bedside. So I have not, I guess I'm lumbered with this for the rest of my life now. Our friend here, this Zombot, I think he's called, if my memory is correct. Yep, there you go, Zombot. But I didn't realise he was one of Larry's. I kind of thought, well, okay, it's forgiven. It's exonerated. This, I like things. Now, I'm a Boneshaker fan, and I can't believe that the guy that comes up with the Boneshaker invents this. I thought this was done by somebody else. I am stunned at just what is going on here. However, this version of this Turbone Shaker, I think they call it, the Turbone Charger. That's it. I knew the name had come to me. I saw it originally when it was the black one. I thought, not so sure. The red one, no, definitely not sure. And I was like, then someone said, oh, well, actually, no, this is supposed to be the replacement of the Boneshaker. You aren't joking. Excuse me a minute. Hang on a minute. Where did we go from that to this damn thing? I'm like, what? What? Hang on a minute. But I will say that of the cars they've made, the 3 different versions of this actually looks the most realistically feasible, passable. I love the bone wheels. I love that ivory, that sort of ivory finish to them. I've only ever seen them on one other car, and I think that was a rigger motor. That's what they call it, the rigger motor. Kind of looks like a thing from the, it was the from the Munsters. What the hell was it now? Munsters Dragster anyway. But this, okay, I've kind of forgiven it really. It says brown. I would have said it's a sort of browny purple. But I do like the purple window inside it. It's forgivable. And it had, I will have to say that of all the cars Larry's made, and he has made some oddballs, as you can see right at the front here, that very, very difficult to... It was one of his off days. I would have to say he's just one of those, sod it, you know. Maybe he left that at the back and then thought, oh, well, sod it. They'll make anything I give them, you know. I'm sure as a car, I mean, it goes like hell, you know. But depends what you want to do with it. Do you want to display it? No. Do you want to race it down a track? Yeah, fair enough. So 9 to 10 out of 10 for racing, slinging it down a track and not giving 2 shakes about it. Excuse the pun. As a display model, oh God. Well, if I had to have a clear out, I'm afraid it would be on its way. Anyhow, I shall wrap this up, and I will get on with part 2 tonight, later on, once this part 1 has been uploaded and sent. Okay, it's been lovely talking to you all. Thanks for the messages of support you've seen on my other videos, and the stuff that's been sent. And I'm going to quick shout out for J-Bo in Kentucky again. Hope you like some of this bit, man. I'm going to do some better cars in a bit. All right, we cover Chevys in the next one. All right, see you later. You take care of yourselves, guys. All right, bye.